Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Perry with Premier Guitar here in Nashville, Tennessee, at the Wild Horse Saloon. Today we have Tetrarch.
What's up?
What is up? This is Diamond Rowe, Shred Master extraordinaire. This is kind of a odd venue. They don't usually do metal shows here, so we're gonna try to get through some gear real quick because you got some cool stuff. You got some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
And some changes to what people might traditionally know you as playing. So
the same question you asked me before is the same question I get a lot. So,
I bet you get it a lot.
Yeah.
I've kind of known you in the past to play some 7-string stuff, but I guess the EverTune kind of allows you to stay in really low tunings and kind of lock it in. So that's been a kind of a big part of your...
for sure. Like with this new record, we started tuning to drop A and drop B as well. So like we used to be in kind of like drop C and stuff, so it was no issue. But we definitely liked staying in the 6-string realm.
Sure.
So the EverTunes helped us a lot. And I still play leads, so it helps me to be able to kind of stay in that 10 to 52 range strings or whatever when I can, 54, whatever. EverTune allows me to do that. If you ask my tech, he'd probably be like, "Grr!" Which is, sorry, Jack. He's like, play bigger, but I like kind of staying as small as I can. EverTune helps me keep that tension and stuff, so that's really
For sure, yeah. And especially for leads, I mean, I feel like heavier sets, especially when there's like a wound G or something like that, it's like, it makes your world just way harder than it needs to be.
Yeah, it definitely helps me. Like I said, I don't deal with it much. Jai, my tech, deals with it now, but it is very helpful, like for those low tunings like that, especially because we don't play a lot in like drop C anymore, standard or anything. Yeah. So it helps me be able to do that for sure.
That's awesome. And then also, I'm sure it's like, you show up to a venue, it's been cold outside, it's been hot outside, you pull your guitar out and it's in tune.
Yeah.
That is so tight.
Yeah.
That is so tight. Right on. Well, let's talk about this one. I know you're an ESP endorsee. Yep. Congratulations on that. That's pretty sick. Yeah,
so this is just like the see-through black LTD. It has the EverTune on it, obviously. 8160 in this one. It's just your standard. This is actually one of my favorite playing guitars for some reason. Like, I have like E2s as well and stuff like that I play. But this one just feels really good.
I have some LTDs that I play great.
Dude,
actually, my go-to is like a Viper 400.
If all of them played like this, I would actually be very happy. But it's it's actually like my heaviest sounding guitar too. It's really weird.
Yeah. I mean, it looks cool and it sounds really, really great. I love the little volute that they do in the back of those too. So you don't have to worry about less of a headstock issues. But well, cool. All right, what else we got?
This one. Basically the same thing. Different color.
Top, though.
Yeah,
That's
it's
sick.
awesome. It's a beautiful guitar. It like photographs so well. But I play this one. I have 5766.
I was gonna say those look real big.
Yeah, 5766 in this one. I only play this for one song. I play this in drop B. As far as song Take a Look Inside.
Well, that makes sense.
Play
on
it
the
once
gauges.
The set. Yeah. But it's a beautiful guitar. It's my other favorite. But yeah, it's pretty much the same. I love playing. A lot of people ask me like, oh, because you play solos and stuff, why do you play the Les Paul shape all the time? But I started out playing Les Pauls. I started out on Gibson Les Pauls when I was like young, 13. So it's like, it's weird. I feel weird playing solos on like shred guitars for some reason. I like guitars that kind of fight me back. And I love guitars that are like heavy weighted. Don't ask me why. But when I like strap a guitar on, I like it to be heavy weighted. So like, if you feel this, the EverTune and everything, the bridge makes it kind of heavy.
Oh, sure. I bet the EverTune adds a little weight.
Yeah. Check it out.
Oh, that's like Les Paul territory.
Exactly. So I love.
It's a thick body too.
Yeah, exactly. I always try to go for like this one's actually thin compared to like their CTM version, which I have back there too. But yeah, I always go for like the bulky guitars. I'm a big girl, so maybe that's why. But
Are these passive EMGs?
No.
Oh, is that an 8167
This
as well?
is a 5766.
Ah, okay. All right,
yeah, but actually these kind of have more of a passive feel, honestly. They
yeah.
When you play these compared to like the 81s, they kind of play more like a passive pickup. And actually I was talking to Tommy, my rep at EMG the other day. We were talking about the same thing. Like these are very like, if someone just listened to them without knowing what they are, you would kind of think they were almost passive.
Do you think that's because it has like more of a vintage voiced kind of thing going on?
He told me, and I could not repeat to you why.
Totally get it. Totally get it.
But we did. But like, I'm so much like what feels good and what sounds good. And to me, like if I have a song or I want to play something that you can feel more of like my personality in or more character in, I always go 5766. But if it's something that it's just like I just need balls and like it doesn't really matter, 81.
Man, an 81, especially with a high gain amp, just does a thing that a lot of other passive pickups are so popular right now. It's kind of like almost out of style to play 81s, but whatever.
Yeah.
If you guys watch this show, then you know that I am a EMG fanatic. I think they sound great.
Yeah.
What's next?
So yeah, this is the LTD, the CTM version. I actually switched. It has a thicker body like your your regular standard Les Paul. So it's not thinner like the EverTunes I have. And I actually switched out this is still 81. 60, but I switched out, got the gold cap.
I love the gold caps. That's cool. That's really slick looking.
Like I said, I like really sleek guitars, kind of shiny guitars. So that's one of my favorite things about this is I change hardware on it. But other than that, I use this for just drop C, regular drop C tuning. Still 10 string size, so same setup and everything as the others, just CTM version, 81 in there.
So out of curiosity, I mean, you're kind of you're doing several tunings, and you really like specific gauge and string tension. So you do a lot of pitch shifting stuff with your whammy. Why not like a Digitech drop or something, and then keep it all standard? Is it just a feel thing?
We were actually just on tour with a band when we were on that Trey Run. Another band on the tour does that for tuning instead of just switching. He actually plays the same one and does that. But I don't know, like. The longer you talk to me, you realize like I'm super old school with a bunch of stuff. Like even my rig, like we go and we play, and people are like, "Why aren't y'all doing this?" Like very new school stuff, and we're like, "I don't know, does Metallica do it? I don't know." So,
I totally get it. If you're used to it, Plus, you have a tech, so that rules.
Yeah, exactly. He deals with all my trouble, so like nothing's trouble for me really anymore. But no, I love switching. I love playing different guitars. Like I love like our bass player actually too. He's like he likes to learn our songs and like the two different tunings and different positions on his bass, so he doesn't have to switch all the time.
Like he's like transposing.
I'm like, dude, this is time to show off all your awesome basses.
Yeah.
So for me,
see, that's the other thing is like get to show off a bunch of cool guitars, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I love doing that. I love guitars and I love doing that. So I've never really thought about having to do it. It never bothered me enough to have to do it. So
yeah. Well, right on. All right. So that kind of covers guitars, right?
Yeah. I got.
Do we have one more?
I got one more in there I could show.
All right.
It's pretty much the same thing. This is like my newest.
Ooh, is that a silver?
This is my E2. He actually pulled off one of the knobs to put on another one, but yeah, this is like probably my favorite new guitar that I've got. It's so bad I haven't figured out how to incorporate it into the set yet.
Gotcha.
But
man, it's beautiful.
Yeah, this one came with 5766 in it, so it sounds great. Actually, on our last music video shoot, I cracked the neck like really bad all the way down. It was the first time I ever played it for anything. I had to send it back, and they, as you can see, the finish on the neck is different than the rest of the guitar.
It looks fast though.
It is. Yeah. It actually came back. It feels better than it did when I got it. So that was a little happy accident.
Yeah, man. How cool is that? That's beautiful.
It's awesome.
Big fan of that. All right, right on. So that's guitars. People probably, if they've been a fan of your band for a while, that they might associate you with a triple rec. But I see a couple EVHs in here. Yep. I'm a 5150 fanatic, so let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Looks like we got a 50 watt and an EL 3400 watt. So tell me about it and what made you switch?
So actually we were, I was with Mason for a very long time, and my rep at EVH approached me actually he asked if I had like a guitar company because they're also Jackson, they're under the Fender umbrella and everything, and I did, but I was like, but you know what? I'm with the ASP, but like, let me check out these EVHs. So he was like, yeah, come in, grab what you want. You can take it, I'll give you some loaners or whatever, and you can check it out. So he gave me, it wasn't this one, he gave us a 50 watt, me and Josh, to check out. We loved it. I love like super high gain amps that I don't have to like with previous amps, there's like high gain amps that you really have to pamper and like get the perfect tone. It takes you a lot of tweaking. There's just a lot going on. These are like made for this. Right. So it was like very easy for me to dial in a tone that I really liked. Once I had the 50 watt for a while, I was still kind of switching back and forth between that and my triple rec that I played at the time. But I asked him about this one, the EL34, the 100 watt, and he was like, yeah, I got one for you. You can have whatever. Sweet. So I started playing that, and I loved it. It's smooth. I get that high gain, but it's still super smooth and everything. So
Yeah, I love the 34 version because it's like just a different flavor.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's so cool, and I think it sits really well in a mix.
And it's it works well with Josh because he uses the regular one. So I didn't want to do the same exact
redundant
amp.
rig.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's an interesting way to approach that with the 34s and the 6L6s, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, way cool. Man, yeah, I know what you mean. Like traditionally high gain amps, like from when we were growing up, weren't really designed for that. So you almost always had to hit it with like a tube screamer or something in the front. Yeah, yeah.
Which I still do. Like I said, I'm gain head. Like I still do.
I get it.
I think my tech has like every show of the tour. I see that knob go down on the tube screamer just like a little bit more. I'm like, Jai, what you doing, buddy? Like I know what you're doing, but I still use it for a little, but I don't. It doesn't need much. It really doesn't. Yeah. Yeah,
those things rip, man. Well, all right. So if you're running that high gain, surely you got to have some sort of noise suppression going on, right?
I do. I have one out front right now
on your board?
in the front of the amp, but I'm actually going to add one after this tour. Probably one behind just to take care of a little bit more of that noise that I have. Yeah. But it's not much.
Yeah, it wasn't much. We just watched your sound check and it was remarkably quiet considering you're running so hot.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a couple pedals on stage on your board, but before we run up there, let's just talk about what you got going on here. So you have a Mastermind controller that you're turning these pedals on with, right?
Yeah, the ground control, yeah. So basically, like I have, this whole drawer is basically one sound. It's that we call it the freak tone.
Yeah,
it's like
the corn,
that creepy corn sound.
Yeah.
I tried to say it without saying the band name, but you know.
I get it. So it's a cool tone, man. Yeah.
Basically, it's just these pedals. They all are for that one tone, and I just switch the patch on and off with the MIDI switcher over there.
Totally.
But yeah, it's just my Boss reverb, a delay chorus, and a Univibe, an XR Univibe. Yeah. And the Univibe is actually pretty cool because it doesn't do like a ton, but it adds like just like a little bit.
That little warble is really interesting, yeah.
In the studio, it's been tough though, kind of getting the perfect thing for it because in the studio we had a sine wave chorus, and like I can't find the pedal for that anywhere. I found like two, but you know we've kind of dialed it in where it's pretty close now. But
yeah, I was gonna say it's a pretty close approximation to the record live.
Yeah. So
for sure.
That would be the only difference. But other than that, everything in here is just for that one effect. It's pretty easy like rig as far as like I don't do like a ton of different effects or anything like that. It's mainly that, my rhythm tone.
Right.
Whammy. But yeah, we've got that going there. Then just my Shure UL-XD4 for my wirelesses.
Makes things handy.
Yep. It's very easy. Haven't had a problem since I switched to those at all. Power conditioner, and then these are just old. I had I used to use those.
I know you were running effects through that for a while.
Yeah, I used to run all effects through the pod, but then we switched to just standalone pedals. So.
Right on. All right, so your board is normally obviously out front, but we've brought it back here because other bands are getting set up and stuff. And there's not a ton going on here.
No.
So walk us through it. I love your use of a whammy. I think your pitch shifting is super next level and fun.
Thank you, man.
So that's obviously an integral part of
it's like sound. It's kind of like I found a whammy on this new record, and it's like I can't get off of it. No, but it's super easy. Like I said, most of the stuff I don't even touch. The only thing I mainly touch is my whammy on the board and the ground control. Those are the two. Like I use EverTunes a lot, so the tuner doesn't get a lot of use up front here unless it's one of my regular bridges.
Just out of curiosity, with an EverTune, can you tune?
You can.
But it kind of whacks everything out, doesn't it?
Jai.
It depends on the situation and the guitar.
Okay, all right.
There you go. It depends on the situation and the guitar.
Yeah.
Usually I don't. So like mine, like Josh, for instance, he has this set to where like he doesn't bend at all. There's no bending in his strings whatsoever.
Right. And you can set it per string, right?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Mine, I like a little bit of mine. So I guess it's like depending on your zone and the fluctuation of your zones and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, I'm not a tech head whatsoever.
Right.
But yes, technically you can, but I don't. I never use that tuner unless like it's my LTD that just has a regular tunematic bridge.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's it. But yeah, I basically just use the ground control. I switch. I only use one patch now. I used to have like different switch banks for songs. I don't do that anymore. So basically I just have like my rhythm patch, and then I have my freak tone patch.
Sure.
And then I have a solo patch.
So it's kind of like
only three I use.
Set up like a stomp box almost.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and honestly,
or like a regular board. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Exactly. Honestly, I want to downgrade, or like I don't really need that anymore.
Right.
I was actually looking at like the ES8, but I'm still trying to kind of figure that out because I literally barely use anything on here. I had a wah on here at one point, which will be making another appearance soon. And then, like, there's a couple other pedals I actually want to integrate and just pull those off and put in a drawer up here.
Sure.
Because I truly, I'll keep the tuner down here, of course, but
Right.
like the tube screamer, the noise suppressor.
I was going to say the NS2 and the tube screamer are something that are probably always on anyway,
exactly.
so they can stay in a drawer.
They're going to go right up in here for the next tour. So there's a couple pedals that I want to integrate to the actual board that I'll actually use on the next tour. But right now, it's literally ground control, whammy. Pretty simple.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, right on. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. We're going to try to get Josh before the doors open. But hey, come see these guys on tour.
Hell yeah.
All right, guys. Now we are backstage with Josh. What is up, man? Thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
Absolutely, man. Happy to be here.
Yeah, man. We're kind of running out of time, so we're stuck back here right now looking at guitars. And we'll talk about his very, very Spartan rig. But let's talk about this. That's a cool style. That's
Yeah,
awesome
I love this thing, man. When ESP came out with like the kind of telly shape, I was just immediately drawn to it. I kind of played that Eclipse shape my whole life, but wanted something a little different for metal, and this thing just caught my eye. I just love how sleek it is, just straight black.
Black on black is tight.
Yeah, I think it's like ebony fretboard, and I love how it feels, super smooth. Yeah, I'm so simple as a guitarist. Like I literally never use the neck pickup. It's always bridge. I mean, this thing has like push-pull knobs that I've maybe tested out once and never done anything with. So I love this thing, man, and especially having the EverTune is like life-changing for me. Especially like I sing and play guitar, and like sometimes I gotta not think about one or the other while we're performing. So for me, that EverTune, just knowing that even if I overbend a string or anything like that, it's gonna stay in
like
tune.
Shoot an arrow out of it, and it would still be there. Too,
yeah,
right?
yeah, I love it, man. Like, especially we tune down pretty low for, especially on a 6 string, down to drop A. Having that stability with this thing is just
that's
life changing.
Man, I love the look of that. Have you ever compared that to an actual Telecaster to see if the body shape is like just a little bigger, or is it?
I feel like it's a little bigger.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
It's got a nice little weight to it, and just feels like you're playing something sturdy.
Yeah, it looks so cool.
Yeah.
Right on. All right, what else we got going on here?
So we have that one in drop A. This was actually my first of the TE shapes that I got when ESP first came out with this one with the EverTune. Same guitar, basically, same pickups, EMG 57, 66. I use this one drop B, same deal, EverTune.
Gotcha.
Easy.
Flip that bad boy around so we can see this. This neck pocket is so interesting. That looks very comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I ever played past like the 7th fret, maybe I
you might
feel it. But
you got enough going on with singing and playing.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I like to joke I could probably play our whole show on like 2 strings and within the first 7 frets or something like that. But yeah, I love this thing. I love the color. It
It's a
pops
cool
on
burst.
videos and pictures and stuff. So yeah, super.
Well, right
just
on.
basically the same guitar. The neck on this one though is a little. It's not that matte finish.
So it's a little stickier.
A little stickier yet. And then I do have an E2 here as well.
Ooh.
Actually, this one still has blood on it from when we played in Anaheim or Santa Ana on our last run. The last show, I ended up slicing my finger on the second song of the set and bled over all of my guitars here.
Dude, did it screw up the rest of the show for you? Because like getting a cut on your finger kind of makes it miserable to play guitar.
No, actually, I just kept going. I just kept wiping it off, and made it through somehow. But I remember it took like 30-something minutes after we got off stage for them to clean the stage.
Because there was so much blood?
So much blood.
Dude, you gave him the old Gary Holt.
Yeah, so it's like, I
Damn.
mean, this is like it clean. It was just, I think ESP actually took a picture of this guitar, of the Blacktail or TE, and they used it for like an ad or something, which is covered in blood. So,
That's kind of cool.
It was very metal.
Man, I love that Eclipse shape. Those are so nice.
Oh yeah, I love it. That was like kind of the first kind of shape I was ever drawn to as a guitarist.
No, out of curiosity, do you feel like the E2 plays that much better than an LTD or an actual ESP? For
I
that
think
matter?
that ESP does a great job in general with their quality. So like everything from
QC is
LTD to E2, like you can pick it up and it's just gonna play great. It's gonna feel great.
Totally.
It's just there's like the E2 to me is there's more subtle differences in terms of I think some of the hardware might feel a little sturdier or like the locking tuners are a little.
That's nice.
I think like they're the actual Goto.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Tuners instead of I think it's a different brand on those, but it's kind of like the subtle differences.
Yeah.
This guitar right now I still have the factory Duncans in it, but we are at the EMG and I'm just waiting to get an 81 to put in here.
Oh, you're gonna go 81 on that bad boy?
Yeah,
huh?
because I use this one for drop C, and those are kind of our more riffy, thrashier songs.
Sure.
So I just want to get that 81 just to get that extra little bite to it.
So that kind of covers it for guitars. As far as strings and gauges, what are you running?
Yeah, so I'm using the Mammoth Slinky, which I believe, actually, here's our tech right now. He's going to hand me one of these. Yeah, it's 12 to 62. I like a little bit of thicker string, especially for that drop tune stuff.
Yeah.
It just sounds super heavy. Complete opposite of Diamond. Diamond uses real small strings. I think she uses 10s and 11s on.
Yeah, I think she was saying like 10.
Even down in drop A, which is kind of crazy, but because of the EverTune, she is able to like still maintain the tension and everything.
That's not farting out on you, yeah.
Yeah, no, so I mean, I love these things. I was always having to buy packs like the 12 to 56 and then buy individual thicker E strings.
Right.
And then they came out with this about...
Or like a 7-string set and then ditched
Exactly,
the,
yeah, and I was just like... but once they came out with this, they started sending me these and they were just perfect. They feel good. All 3 tunings, like they feel... They're just great.
Yeah.
Been with Ernie Ball, I guess since really... That was kind of our first company we ever
First
worked
endorsement?
with. Yeah, but it was cool because it was like the strings I always used growing up. So
well, speaking of endorsements, you guys, you're both playing the EVH.
Yeah.
amps.
We love EVH as a company, and just I mean they're just such a metal tone. You know?
Yeah.
My rig is so simple. I'm literally just amp head, cab. That's it.
And a noise suppressor.
And noise suppressor in the front, noise suppressor in the back. Crank the gain and go.
That's
Just keeps it easy for me. And,
Jeez.
you know.
Well, that's easy enough.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, man, your sound check was awesome. I'm excited for the show. Josh, thank you so much for taking the time to walk us through this stuff. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more rig rundowns, riff rundowns, video lessons, all that fun stuff. See you soon.